Origin. New aspiration. New ambition. Same purpose. Chase supremacy. Us.
Against the world.
Origin. New aspiration. New ambition. Same purpose. Chase supremacy. Us.
Against the world.
Origin. New aspiration. New ambition. Same purpose. Chase supremacy. Us.
Against the world.
This is why we used to bring cookies.
Hello mga pamangkikers! Welcome back again to our show. Obviously, tonight is a very special episode. Now you'll be wondering, who is our guest? Now, I'm gonna give you an intro. So, he is a part of the 2019 All-ACC academic team. He was also part of the All-ACC second team, ACC top 10 goals, GW goals, and points. Vasid first team. He was the 2019-2020 Virginia Tech team captain. And he's also part of the team pool of the Azkals. And he's also named to the watch list for the college soccer's most prestigious award, the Mac Herman Award. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the 30th overall pick from the Virginia Tech College, Houston Dynamo FC selects Kristo Strickler. Let's give a round of applause for Kristo here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, sir. First of all, how are you? How's everything there? And I hope you and your family are doing well, man.
Yeah, I mean everything's good. I'm in Virginia at Virginia Tech still, but just yeah, everything's good. Pretty excited about what has happened in the past weeks, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to what the next stage pretty much holds for me.
But before we want to know your reaction, man, because we love reactions, my dude.
Right.
And the thing is, sorry, Nate, it was university, my bad. So at Virginia Tech University. So how does it feel like, man, to get drafted to the MLS? I mean, are you still in cloud nine? Like,
Uh,
are you still like, processing everything that's happening?
I mean, I was kind of processing it all before, but it was just super exciting. It was just kind of unreal because I never really thought that I could get drafted one day because I mean, I started at Virginia Tech as a walk-on and I just wanted to join like a big program, but I mean, I just kind of progressed and the thought of it just kind of kept like creeping in on me. Like maybe I could go to play professional soccer one day. And I was just super honored and just privileged to be selected from such like a talented group of players. And yeah, I'm just excited and I'm glad that Houston Dynamo is going to give a chance on me. And I'm just ready to work, and just put all my effort into it.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is though, like I want to get also your thoughts on your teammate because he was the first overall pick in the draft. And like, what are your thoughts on that too? Because like you as a teammate, like you must be happy for your teammate being the number one for
So
Austin.
I'm just so proud of him. Like Danny Pereira, I mean, the kid is just a gem. Like I knew that everyone knew on my team once he started practicing with us, like our first practice ever. I was just like, wow, this kid is gonna go places. He might be the best player that I've ever like played with over a long period of time, and he deserves it all. He is such a humble guy, super nice, and yeah, I'm just also very excited for him, and I think he's just gonna tear it up.
So I mean, I'm happy because like I mean the Virginia Tech guys are getting more opportunities, and then seeing your teammate as the first overall pick. I mean, like you guys from Virginia Tech must be on cloud nine. So I'm happy. I'm
Yeah,
happy
it's
for
just
that.
the program also. Yeah, it's
All
awesome.
right. After, of course, before we go to you, let me also introduce. I'm not all alone, guys. This isn't a one-on-one boxing match. Obviously, we also have, my bad, my bad. I also have our colleagues. First of all, I would like to, at the background, Luke Transport is at the background doing, our floor manager. I would also like to introduce finally who is back with us after a long hiatus, but we're finally happy to see you again. Ladies and gentlemen, mga pamangkikers, let us welcome back Glenn Casas.
Just in time before we end the
Just
season.
just in time before we end the season. And obviously, mga pamangkikers, the one and only, the Jefe, the founder of ESBF, ladies and gentlemen, your Tito J, Jamer de la Cruz.
What's up? What's up, Kristo? Thank you so much for joining our show. We're really happy
Thanks for
to have you. Of course, Glenn, just in time for our season ender. So, yeah, I mean,
Guys, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
of course. I mean, who would actually miss this? I mean, it's a great honor for us to, like what Dave said, to have a player who's going to be in the MLS soon. We're just happy to have you. But before I go into any questions that I have regarding this, we just want to see, or everyone wants to know how strict Cristo actually started off with playing soccer and your probably your humble beginnings. Can you share to us your humble beginnings?
Yeah. I mean, I always was playing soccer since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like I'd be kicking in the driveway with my dad. We'd be practicing my left and right foots. But yeah, I just kept playing, kept in club soccer, and then I ended up doing really well in high school, and I kind of just made my way, landed at Virginia Tech, and you know how that's gone for me. Yeah, I mean, I was a walk-on, just put in the work every day, but I mean, hard work pays off, and I'm just super excited for what I've accomplished and what in the future, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really great to hear the your story actually. And how you started off playing for for Virginia Tech, but um, like what I said for everyone here, it's very exciting to to have you. Actually, in the comment section, one of the former players of the Philippine national team, Nate Berkey, he's a fellow Virginia native. He said, and he said, congrats and all the best in the future. Um, Oh well, actually wanted to ask, why did you have to walk on for the tryout?
For which tryout? For the
For the
Virginia.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
So they have like spots, like you can either be like given a scholarship immediately, or you can just be like a preferred walk on. And it's not really a tryout. You kind of just like you're just on the team, but you just have to you're just not as like high as the other freshmen that are coming in. So well, I was always in practice and stuff, and once they like just saw me like keep succeeding in practice, they finally gave me a chance on the field, and I kind of just worked my way up to those levels. And yeah, I took my shot once I got it, and yeah, it's gone pretty well, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
was actually thinking of going to like a Division 3 school. Like there's these different divisions in college soccer. And I remember my senior year in high school, I was like really set on just going to a lower Division 3 school. But I kind of was like, I think I can make it to a higher level. And so I just kind of sent emails out to all these colleges, and I'm glad that Virginia Tech took a shot on me, and it might have been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
Yeah, this is the kind of player that everyone wants to sign. I mean, the kind of player that who sells himself and proves himself on and off the pitch, just for them to give him a chance. I mean, every player that we do have here in the Philippines should emulate what you've done, because you're never gonna know what your chances are unless you take that first step of applying, or trying out for them. So that's really great to hear. Now, I just want to ask, by the way, how did you see the competition in the ACC, or how was the competition in the ACC?
Well, the ACC is like known to have the best soccer programs in the NCAA. I'm pretty sure this year, 1/3 of all the players selected in the MLS draft were all from the ACC. So I think there were 75 players selected. 25 of them were all from the ACC. So that just kind of tells you how strong the conference is. And each game is always super competitive. And I think most of the ACC teams make it to the like NCAA tournaments. Like it has it's just a strong conference, and that's where a lot of kids want to go and play soccer, because they know that they can really prove them or just expose themselves, And that was if I was playing in another conference that might have been not as popular or as good as the ACC, I wouldn't have gotten like the exposure that I needed. So.
Yeah. Well, again, that's an
All right.
amazing story that you have there. Yeah, go on, Glenn.
All right. Well, actually, it's quite interesting to see really how hard work has really paid off for you in this kind of situation, especially because football most commonly most commonly footballers would be discovered by scouts and all that, but you really worked yourself hard from playing from just amateur games to all the way to collegiate, and now you're in the pros. So it really must be a big thing. Now, a lot of just like what David said earlier, the Filipinos, they're really really curious about things Filipino as well. So once they get a whiff of you being Filipino, they
Hmm.
sometimes shout it out to the world, and they kind of want to say, hey, this guy really needs to represent the flag. He's Filipino pride, as we call it. So are you happy that majority, or are you happy to know that the majority of the Filipino fans wants you to be in the national team?
Yeah, I'm so stoked. Like I'm just excited for the opportunity that the Azkals can provide, and I just wouldn't be more proud to represent my roots and my family's homeland and my homeland. So yeah, I'm just super excited for all of this, and yeah, like just the opportunity that can come from the Philippines. Like I'm on cloud nine about all of that. I would love to don the colors and just represent the team so much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, like how do you say the fact that you said it, like it also gave me goosebumps as a Filipino football fan.
Every
So
one of us actually.
every actually
I
everyone here
agree.
in the gang. So yeah, man, that's kind of nice words to hear from too. And so I mean, dude, like, how does it feel to be part of the MLS and Houston Dynamo, man? I mean, it just like to the fact that have you like noticed, like you just literally said like you wrote an email to different colleges, and then you out of nowhere you're in Division One with Virginia Tech, and then next thing you know, from your hard work Virginia Tech, you're now in the MLS. Like talk us like for the past few days, like the before the draft and after the draft, and how does it feel like to be part of the, be part of Houston Dynamo?
Yeah, I mean, I was always watching like MLS when I was a kid, and just to like know that like I could like I might be in it one day. Like it's just so wild to think about because, like I said earlier, like I didn't ever really think that this was like an option for me. But yeah, before the draft, like I kind of knew I was gonna get selected, but yeah, I was just kind of counting down the days to when it would happen because I mean it was the day that could change my life, and I was just super anxious, but it was like a good anxious. I was really excited again, and that day was just one to remember, and my family was there with me, and it was just really nice to like see all my work just pay off, and just to make them proud, make my family proud, make the Philippines proud. And yeah, it was just an awesome day. And I still sometimes like think about it. I sit down, I'm just like, dang, like that really just happened. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really fortunate, and yeah, I'm just super honored to be selected by Houston. Yeah.
So this is my follow up. So now you have to, in the loading screen of your college life, you only have like 99.8% on the loading screen to be able to be complete in your college, college life. But now, what you're doing, like you're trying to finish your college, and like, are you planning to do it when you're in Houston already, or are you doing it now? And what are your plans?
Yeah. So the whole deal. So the MLS draft was kind of different this year with COVID, and just like we didn't really have a college season. And I spoke with the head coach at Houston Dynamo. His name's Tab Ramos, and he kind of really liked my situation where I am at Virginia Tech, and he wants me to kind of finish out my college season, my spring season here, because there's a spring season. Because in the fall there wasn't a full season, so it's kind of like split between fall and spring. And I'll be playing in the ACC. I'll be playing competitively, and after, like the college season, I'll be reporting to Houston. I think in around May, and I'll hopefully prove my worth there. And I think they have a lot of belief in me, and yeah, I'm excited of where it can take me. But yeah, right now I'm pretty focused on just the college season right now, just trying to get really fit, and just that Mac Herman award would be just kind of like a cherry on top. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited, and I'm just really focused on that. But I'm also just focused and looking to what is the next steps in Houston are. So yeah.
I mean that would be totally nice. For those mga pamikikers, if you don't know what's the Mac Herman award, it is basically college soccer's highest award. If you're a American football fan, that's like the equivalent to the Heisman Trophy, and if you're a football like European football fan and everything, that's equivalent to the Ballon d'Or, but for college levels. So mate, like if you get that, we're gonna really hype it up. We're gonna like we here in the ASBF, we're gonna celebrate for you, man. Like the whole country's gonna celebrate for you if ever you win that. And crossing fingers, guys. So let's hope that you get that trophy, man. And yeah, on to Tito J.
Yeah. I mean, if he actually wins that, that's gonna be a week long, or if not a month long celebration for the Filipino football fans, knowing that someone is actually are making waves out there in the U.S. So yeah, I mean, talking about Pinoy pride once again that we have discussed. There are a lot of Filipino players that started off in the U.S. as well. We have the likes of we have Nate Berkey. We do have OJ Porteria. We do have Martin
Mhm.
Stoibel, like we have mentioned, and every one of them have made it to the national team. Now, before you've even heard of these players, or before you've even heard of any Filipino players in the MLS or in NCAA or whatnot, did you know that there was a Philippine national team? Because most of the players that we had in the past 10 or 11 years of the Philippine Azkals Renaissance era, most of them said that they are quite shocked to know that there's a Philippine national football team.
Yeah, I did know that there was a national team. Actually, like the first time that I like even like kind of thought of it or like it came to mind, my cousin, she played for the women's team when she was like 16 years old, or maybe for like a U16 team. And like she went to the Philippines and represented the country. And like I was much younger then, but I was like, maybe one day I could do that. And yeah, I mean, just like in 2019, I was invited to camps and stuff. And yeah, that was just becoming more of a reality. And it was just, yeah, just pretty cool to know one day that I could play for the Philippines. And so that's when I first started thinking about it. But I never thought that I actually would get invited to in the future. But yeah.
Yeah, and also just to follow up on that's quite an interesting story, knowing that it runs in the blood that that you play soccer, and there's one who represented Philippines in the women's division, like U16 or around that. Just to follow up though, were you like invited in the training camps out there in the U.S. before? Because I believe the Philippines held a couple of training camps in the U.S. Were you invited
Mhm.
back then?
Yeah, so after my sophomore season at Virginia Tech, this is 2019, I believe, or this is early 2019. Yeah, I was contacted by Scott Cooper, the head coach, and I remember getting that text and being like what the heck? Like, is this really happening? And yeah, he was just really happy with my play and just wanted to just see more of me. And yeah, he invited me to the camp that was in March. It was held in Thailand, I believe. Yeah, it was in Thailand. And then later that summer or later that year, I was invited to another camp, which was held in Manila, and then also part-time in China, where we had a friendly against China. Yeah, in June, I think. This was in June. So yeah, I've been around a lot of the guys already, and yeah, I've made a lot of friends, and teammates are all really nice, and I've learned a lot. So yeah, it's all awesome. Yeah.
Well, at least the foundation is already there. The connection with the national team is already there. So we're just really looking forward right now and seeing more of you in the future. I mean, there are a lot of guys out here in the Philippines who have
Mhm.
who have been making strides through the Azkals development team, and
Yeah.
some of them are actually making it to the big leagues in Southeast Asia. We'll never know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in the upcoming tournaments, we'll see your name in the squad list. But yeah, we're just really excited. I'm just gonna give the ball now to my dear friend Glenn. Go ahead, brother.
Well, it is really something that we all Filipinos are looking forward to. So now that we're talking about professional football again, or soccer, sorry, it's
Mhm.
professional soccer. Well, I wanted to ask. So there's a big difference between moving from collegiate soccer to professional soccer.
Mhm.
So how do you feel with your preparation so far?
I mean, yeah, I mean, the transition is always going to be difficult but I'm just going to be training very hard, and I'm just going to do my best when I do report to Houston. But like, I think one of the main things is that, I mean, I'm just going to be playing with like real men now. I mean, I'm not playing against like freshmen, sophomores, juniors in college. Like, I'm playing against legit competitors. Like, and there's some crazy talent in the MLS. I mean, like Gonzalo Higuain is there, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic played there. Like maybe one day I'll be going up against these guys, which would be such a cool experience. But I mean, I think that if I just keep having my work ethic that I have, and I just stay disciplined and just keep just working hard and working at it like I've always done, I think that I can make strides for myself. And it's worked so far. And yeah, I hope it works in the future.
Well, do you see yourself being one of the MLS legends in the future?
I mean, who knows? But I mean, it's always something that could happen. But I kind of like looking things like like on a very realistic level. And once I achieve like that first step, I just kind of just try to just get the next one and the next one, and just kind of just keep slowly making my way like up the rankings and the ladders or whatnot. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I am quite curious though. There should be some sort of difference when it comes to training with Houston Dynamo and training with Virginia Tech. Any particular differences that really struck you?
I mean, it's kind of a job now. I mean, it always was a job in college, but it's just not as like this. Like you're getting paid to play soccer, so it's just going to be super competitive because you have to. I mean, you're competing for a spot on the field, and I mean I think that's going to be one of the main differences is that like it's a job, and yeah, pretty much that. You just got to compete and earn everything. So yeah.
Well, one thing that we are going to be sure of is that from the first time that the Azkals scouted you, there's definitely going to be a big difference in skill. So I'm going to be passing the ball over to my dear friend David. Take it away.
Wait, stop it with the chest. All right, the ball is on me. All right, that's a good stop. Anyways, first of all, before we continue, again, shout out to Nate Berkeley. Glenn, he says it's football, not soccer. All right, so we're gonna say
I
football.
agree. I would agree.
Sorry, I keep calling it soccer. I'm so used to that. I should be calling it football.
Yeah, I know, but it's all good, man. We understand. And so, I mean, it's the experiences that you're gonna have, man, and I'm already imagining that they're gonna do a sort of initiation with you in the Houston Dynamo. So I highly suggest you prepare for that.
So they already tweeted, actually, one of the guys on the team tweeted to all of the draftees that were selected that we're gonna have to sing in front of the whole group. And that's actually the thing that we had to do for the Azkals in the training camp. So I think I'm pretty used to it by now, but we'll see how that goes.
What's your go-to song?
I might get a lot of hate for this, but Justin Bieber is always one that I could go to. I'm pretty sure that's what I sang for the Azkals, so it was pretty funny.
I thought you were going to say Taylor Swift or something.
I mean, Taylor Swift isn't bad, but yeah, I mean, hey, give respect to the Biebs, man. I mean,
Careful,
yeah, but
there might be some fans of Justin Bieber watching.
Yeah. There might be some believers here, so let's calm that down. But yeah, speaking of the Azkals, man. I mean, being a prospect for the national team, I mean, it's something that not everyone has, but could we expect you donning the beautiful, white, blue, and red shirt one day?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I get the opportunity, I just keep proving myself. Like, I would just love to represent, just the country that like my grandparents came from and my mom came from, and just to owe it to them and just make them proud, and like all the hard work that they did to get me to just where I am today, like just to kind of repay them. And just, yeah, I mean, it'd just be a dream of mine to just finally get my first start or something like that. And yeah, it would just kind of like all come together and just be like, yeah, this is what I really wanted, and just to make them proud and the country proud. Yeah. And I just want to play for like my roots, like it's where I'm from, and it's been part of my life. The culture has been a part of my life, and yeah, I'll do whatever it takes to just represent the country.
I mean, we can wait for that, because speaking of your stats, man, I mean, just looking at it, like 60 plus games, 27 goals, nine assists, man, and dude, you can shoot out of the box. And man, when I saw that, I was like, yep. Yeah. He can shoot. Yeah.
He's the kind of guy we need.
He's the kind of guy we need. And no, not just that, like headers, man. Like you're a set piece specialist, my dude.
Yeah,
Like
ulo.
you are, yeah, ulo, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nagkitagas ng ulo because
I don't like scream that on the sideline like ulo ulo.
ulo, yeah. But just seeing, I think most of your goals are even headers. Like just to perfect it, and sometimes you don't really give a damn if you're gonna get kicked on the face as long as you scored a goal, and that happened. I
Hey,
think
whatever
there
it
was.
takes. Yeah, I gotta put your body on the line. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, big respect to you, man. And from the ball, gotta cross it back to Tita J. Tita J, get the first touch.
Yeah, got it. Thank you so much for that, Dave. Yeah, I mean, the prospect of seeing you in the national team is just something wonderful for us to imagine. However, we also want to keep in mind what's at stake here is the future of the national team. Right now, with the players that we do have here in the country, the developmental players that we do have here, we call them as the future Azkals, the future players who's going to represent the country. Probably my what I want to ask there is that if you were able to join in the camps before, especially with the Scott Cooper era, that's kind of like a new age for us, wherein most of the youngsters are getting the minutes in the actually they played in the Philippines Football League. They had gotten their experience there. Now,
Yeah.
what do you think are the chances in the future for the Philippines in terms of football, knowing that someday somehow you're going to be part of it?
I mean, chances for the Philippines in football. I mean, I think that it's heading in the right direction. Like with all like the ADT, I think that's really good. They're getting experience against all these like just experienced men. They're playing against men, but I think that the Philippines, their chances. I'm sorry. I think that if there was like a collegiate system and maybe like a draft or something, that could help a lot. Because it kind of just selects players into like the league, and it creates it more competitive, and it could just create a lot more exposure and grow the sport of the country, and it would just make it more big in the country, I guess. Sorry, that was a rough question.
I understand. I mean, even coming from me, I was actually thinking when the question was thrown at me, I was like, should I ask this? Or actually, I hesitated a bit, but I said that it's kind of timely to ask you this because more recently with the Philippines Football League, clubs are actually planning to hold some drafts as well, just like what happened in the MLS. And I think what you've said about having a system for collegiate football is something that we need here because right now we do have two collegiate competitions, the UAAP and the NCAA. Both of them are kind of a great level, a good level of football, but not as great as it is out there in the US. The level of competition is not that high. There's only like one or two teams dominating the UAAP, and then one or two teams as well in the NCAA. And when they face in an annual tournament that combines them both, most of the time the UAAP boys stand out the most. So having a system wherein both of them really plays in a regular basis kind of like makes sense because it works for the US, it works for other countries. Why can't we use it?
Yeah, so much more talent can be discovered. And I also think another thing that could help is like, I know this might be in the way future, but if PFL just grows and has more teams in it, I think that will really just raise the whole caliber. And yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, I mean, we're really looking forward to the growth of the PFL so that it can give also more chances for the players that we do have here. Probably just to follow, I'll just take it back a bit to the day that you were in the training camp for the national team, because our dear friend Nate Berkey here asked you during the training camp who impressed you the most out there, and what was your overall impression during the camp?
Yeah, I mean, I met a lot of guys there, and the players that I know best are on the Azkals development team. Like I was rooming with Kainoa Bailey, if you know him, and because we're all pretty much like around the same age, and we were American. He was from I think he lived in LA for a little bit. So yeah, we hit it off really quickly. I mean, I was roommates with Christian Rontini before, Simon Lingbo, Eric Galantes, like a lot of guys that have played minutes for the ADT team. But I'm also pretty good friends with Marco Casambre. I think he might be in Thailand right now or Malaysia. I'm not sure.
No, he's
He's back here
with
in the Philippines.
he's back in the Philippines.
But yeah, and then I also, of course, like had the chance to play with top players, including Stefan Schrock and Kevin Ingresso, Patrick Reichelt, and many more that have made so much strides for the national team. And I look up to all of them, and I hope to follow in their footsteps and make the Philippines proud. Yeah, because they're all crazy good players. I mean, Schrock, he played for Eintracht Frankfurt. Like that's just so wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great to hear, man. If you playing alongside Schrock, sending you those long balls or those corners, I mean, that could play really well into the Azkals offense. Yeah, just use the header out there. Yeah, speaking of headers, let me just head the ball over to my dear friend Glenn. Here you go, brother.
And it went off. That was an inaccurate header. All right.
Sorry.
Well, actually, going back to that, now that now that you've had your experience with the national team, with the camps and everything, you've gotten yourself acquainted with quite a lot of guys. So, is there anybody in the team that you're currently looking up to, like as a good example to follow or taking the lead from?
I mean, I think, the guy to look up to would be Shraki. I mean, he's just a born leader, and he loves just to put his best effort into the team. And when I was at the national team camps, he would talk to all of us. He would just make us feel welcomed. And I think that's great for the culture. You just make everyone feel comfortable. And once you're comfortable, just the whole chemistry of the team can just improve that much more. And so just feeling accepted when I did come by him and all the other older guys, it was just really nice because I didn't really know what I was coming into, but just know and feel like, because we're kind of like the future, and they want to just kind of groom us, and because we will have to follow in their footsteps one day, and I think they're breeding us well for that, and it is definitely something to look up to. Yeah.
Nice. Well, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Schrock was your pick, because he's pretty much everyone's pick.
He's a great player.
Now, another question is that, this is out of curiosity, but if you never became a footballer or a soccer player, what would you be playing right now? What other sport would you be playing?
The only other sport that I did play a lot growing up was actually basketball, and I know how popular basketball is in the Philippines. The only problem with that is I'm only 5'9", so I don't really think that I could really do much. But I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty good at dribbling. So maybe I would have a future in basketball, but I'm not really sure if that would have been too positive. But yeah, I mean, I love playing basketball. Yeah.
Well, that's you're still taller than me, that's for sure.
And I think that's a given for for an American that has Filipino roots. That's kind of a given already. If not football, it's gonna be basketball.
Yeah, for some reason that was also kind of like an expected answer, huh?
But I don't know, you might say out of nowhere, I don't know, hockey, lacrosse, or baseball or something.
I played a year of lacrosse. I played a year of football, American football.
Oh, what position American football?
I was running back, actually.
Wow, running back. Wow, you just take the hits and just bring the ball.
I was like 6th grade, I think, but we won the championship that year, so.
Damn.
It was fun times.
All right. Oh, by the way, David, I'm gonna be throwing the ball to you.
Yeah, because he lost it.
Yeah, you lost it, and then you just okay, got it back
That was an
again.
inaccurate pass.
Sorry, because
Yeah, man.
I was heading on the other way, not this way.
but yeah, anyways, hey, I'm 5'9", man, and Lautaro Martinez is 5'9", and he scores headers, so it's all good, man. I mean, football is made. I mean, at the end of the day, football is made for you and everything. But speaking of Lautaro Martinez, who are your idols or role models in European football, like in the top leagues in Europe?
Yeah. Ever since I was like growing up and just I was interested in watching the Premier League since I was like what 8, 9, 10 years old, and my favorite player like in history has to be Fernando Torres. Like
Oh yes.
when he played for Liverpool.
Oh
And
no.
he was just
You just
not
kind of
Chelsea.
punched Glenn in the face with that.
Gut
Yeah,
punch. That was a gut punch.
I mean, he's just a lethal striker, you know, and there's so much you can learn from him and his movement, his intelligence, just his finishing. And to this day, I still will watch YouTube videos of him and highlights of him before my games, just because kind of just helps me visualize or inspire like some of the things that I might want to do in the coming match. And yeah, he is my favorite player.
I mean, looking at Fernando Torres, like mga pamangkikers, like if you've seen how Fernando Torres looks like, my dude got gains, like with the
Gains,
Z,
yeah.
like gains, man.
He's buff now.
Like Fernando Torres can be like a footballer by day and a bouncer by night. Like literally, the guy like really grew. But I mean, talking about El Nino. I mean, yeah, even though like when he went to Chelsea and his performance went down and everything, but like in his Liverpool days, he was just El Nino and like that. Wait, Glenn, I'm getting there. I'll compliment your team also. Don't worry. I'll get there. He was El Nino. He did very well in Liverpool, but in the end, like he went to Chelsea. He won the Champions League and the Europa League. So I mean, good for him. But yeah, I mean, I understand why your role model is El Nino, and I could see it also by the way you were playing also in during your college days and everything. So yeah. Anyways, Tito, go forward.
Where?
Like to your right.
Ah.
Okay. Boom. Go. I passed it.
That was too strong. That's too strong of a pass. I can't see the ball.
Okay, so my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. Well, yeah, I mean, having Fernando Torres as an idol, yeah, that really is something that kind of expected for a scorer like you as well. I just want to take it back to U.S. soccer right now, or U.S. football, because the system that you have there for collegiate football is really working for you guys. I mean, having the as a pick in the MLS Superdraft, I mean, that's kind of like your gateway into to Major League Soccer. However, there are still some pressing issues in terms of the United States having a very good system in terms of football, but not really materializing in terms of World Cup appearances or their international tournament. So, what do you think could be some sort of improvement that the U.S. football can look into?
I mean, I've had this conversation a lot, and I don't think it's ever going to happen, sadly. But I think there needs to be a new change in the system where it follows most of the leagues in Europe, where there's relegation and promotion. And I think if that happens, like there's always going to be like top players in the top league, and there's going to be people in the bottom always trying to fight for that, and that'll just increase the whole competitiveness and of just the entire country. And I think if we did that, like I'm pretty sure Germany like switched to that system also like in the past, and like look at them now, like they're so good. Like so I think that if there's a system like that, it would very much improve the whole United States. But I mean, there's so much money in all those big cities. I don't think they'll ever like really be like we can't play in like a lower division, because like then they wouldn't generate any revenue or anything. So it's kind of a sticky situation. But I think if there's a promotion and relegation system, it would totally help everyone out. Yeah. And a lot more people would probably watch it too. It'd be so much more exciting. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the fact that right now former players in Europe are now applying their trades in the MLS, that kind of makes it exciting. But what's going to make it more exciting is to see the future prospects of the U.S. Playing as well in the MLS. Now, just to follow up on that, there has been years, or actually, it's still happening, that the MLS it kind of seemed like a retirement league for top tier European football players. Do you think that kind of hinders the development of the players that you have there in the U.S.?
Yeah, it kind of does, because it's kind of like like I said, like even though like Zlatan and them came here, it's kind of like, well, Zlatan's still killing it in Italy, but like Higuain and Beckham and Lampard, when they all came here, it's kind of just like, let's just play in America because like I can. But I mean, it does hinder it a lot, but I think that it's still a good league. I mean, there's a lot of foreign players from Central America, South America that are in it, still really competitive. And I do think it is, the competition is growing, and I don't think it will be retarded. So yeah, it's my answer on that.
Yeah, that's that's something that we look forward to as well. Playing like the legends in Europe just playing in the U.S. and maybe one day you're gonna bump shoulders with some of the players that who played in Europe out there. My good buddy Glenn, I'm not gonna throw any ball at you because it's already way past the throwing line. So it's your time now to do the questions.
Well, it's not my fault if you suck at trying to get the ball
Sorry,
or
man.
something. I don't know.
I'm fat. I cannot go and run for the ball now.
Okay. There you go. I love that Sunday league mentality.
All right. Well, mom's gonna need that ball back. All right. So going back to the questions now. Actually, this is something that I have been pondering, because you've being that you are one of the products of the collegiate football or soccer system in the United States, that pretty much would have given you good insights as to how you were developed, how they go from collegiate to the MLS and all that. Now, how did the collegiate system add value to the Major League Soccer in general? How was the collegiate system able to complement the MLS? And do you think, is this something that smaller countries like the Philippines can learn from?
Yeah, I mean, college soccer, it just breeds many great players, but to be honest, the draft really has become less significant in the recent years, and there isn't even an MLS combine anymore. But you'll also see a lot of first-round players that aren't as successful, but on the contrary, like fourth-round picks can prove to make a statement. Like Jeremy Abobasi, he's on the Portland Timbers. He was the 84th pick, and he's like one of the top strikers in the MLS right now. He got caught up to the U.S. national team. But I mean, there are many great soccer players who have come from the system. For example, Jack Harrison, he's on Leeds United. He played at Wake Forest, which is an ACC team. And that's where that important stint at Wake Forest was really important for his, future career. And DeAndre Yedlin, he played at Akron. He's on Newcastle right now. Jordan Morris, I think he just made a move to Swansea. So, I mean, there are many talents that are making it into European soccer. I'm not really too familiar with how the universities, like I said, in the Philippines deals with soccer, but I think if all the universities came together and had like a collegiate soccer system with a draft, the sport could definitely. Yeah.
Well, if that. All right. Well, in that case, I was. So that means there's pretty much a lot of other avenues for aspiring footballers in the United States to join the MLS. Other routes aside from taking college varsities and all that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's I think one of the most popular ways to just like kind of making your name these days is just being a part of an academy, or just being a part of a club and staying in that club as a little kid and just kind of going through the ranks, and one day they'll just sign you. You won't even have to go to college. And like Brendan Aronson, he's on the Philadelphia Union. I think he's a great example of that, playing for New York Salzburg or Red Bull Salzburg right now. So yeah, I mean, a lot of players are like him that kind of just stay with their club throughout their young life, and it really is beneficial to them. Yeah.
Wow. So that means that the U.S. soccer system is really starting to emulate a little bit more of the European style as well, because that's pretty much how some European players do.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be passing the ball again to my good friend David here. So go long.
You might fail, brother. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on
I
mute.
tried. I'm sorry, man. Like I'm a fat guy too. I'm not like I don't know 5'9". I don't know how many pounds strong like Kristo here. So forgive me for my but yeah, I mean, I wanna say what you said about like let's be honest. I mean, I gotta say this, like in even I forgot who's the ESPN analyst who said this, but in 2018 when the US soccer men's national team went out of the World Cup qualifiers, I mean that was the most embarrassing moment of the whole US football US soccer scene or US football scene. And the fact that he called it sort of arrogant because they kind of how do you say this? They kind of how do you say this? Expected, oh, we're just gonna go to the World Cup like that, but in the end they did get it. But what I see is with the MLS look, I mean Alfonso Davies came from freaking MLS, and you can look at him right now. What he's doing with Bayern is ridiculous. And let me name more like how do you say this? Giovanni Reina. My favorite player today, right now, is Weston McKennie. That guy literally is like the best US prospect right now. Weston McKennie. He plays for my team. He plays for Juventus. So, I'm loving him. First American player in the history of Juventus, and he's already making an impact. So I'm happy for that and all. But going further, into my question and everything, like, do you think, like, how do you say this, with changing the fact of this relegation and like that, do you think that, with the chances of the World Cup for the US national team, like from your own opinion, do you think that this arrogance can just, get out of the window? And do you think that it's also a humbling thing for the US national team to get thing? Because at the end of the day, they might think, oh, it's just a World Cup and like that. Do you think it was the humble step for them to be kicked out of the World Cup?
It would totally help. Like it would just prove all those guys that think they're like that are it wrong, because they may end up getting relegated or something. It would totally humble them. And those teams that be promoted, like they'd have their chance, because they're the ones that are really working hard to make them known. And yeah, just the overall just competitiveness, I think, would just the risk of like being relegated, like it would just change everything about it. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but like I think it would be so awesome if there was a system like that.
Because like you were also mentioned that there were interesting players from Central America and South America. I mean, we can remember Atlanta United. They had how do you say, they had Martinez, like obviously Venezuelan wonder guy, Martinez. They also had I think Almiron, who's now in Newcastle, doing wonders in Newcastle and everything. So there's always a chance for MLS players. I mean, right now there's somebody from Real Salt Lake that we got from Juve, and now who's in loan in Benevento. So that's also good for US soccer and everything. My follow-up question, before I won't pass the ball anymore, but more like a torch. Like, let's pass the torch, because that's an easier thing to pass right now. But
For fat asses
I
like
mean,
us.
speaking of development or anything, man, there are a lot of provincial kids around the Philippines that will like to follow football, because with despite the financial backgrounds they have and everything, but every time they hear or they see a football star, they always get motivated and like that. Do you have any anything to say to them, any motivational thing, like what would you say to them, and how would you motivate them, man?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that like you can follow your dreams, like as long as you stay disciplined and you work hard and always just put all your effort into what you want to accomplish, and just hone in on your skills. Like you don't know what you can do. And like as long as you just keep a mentality like that, I think that you can really make strides for yourself and just, yeah, I think just work hard and it'll pay off one day. I promise. Yeah.
I mean, I just I just really love that. And before I pass it back, to DJ, I want to give a big shout out to one of the biggest legends in Philippine football. Before Stefan Schrock, he was Mr. Football,
We're so
Mr.
honored.
Philippine Football. We like to give a shout out all the way from Australia, Elmer Bedia, Mr. Football, way before during the 90s, one of the football legends in the Philippines. Thank you so much for watching the show. It's an honor to have you on the show. Thank you for also giving grassroots lessons in your academy, the Elmer Bedia Football Academy, and we really appreciate it. Okay, let's go back to Jay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave. Yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Coach Elmer, for watching. I mean, kind of worked together with one of his coaches in his academy. So yeah, thank you so much. Probably I just have a couple more questions before we can wrap things up for today, Christo. It's kind of hard. Let's face it that it's kind of hard to to sell yourselves to the clubs or to like, the teams, but you were able to do it. But if let's say that you're gonna try to do it again, and you're gonna keep it as simple as I don't know, how can you describe yourself or your work ethic in 3 words? Should for example, let's take this as an interview, for an MLS team, just for example. If you are gonna describe your work ethic, how can you describe it in 3 words?
I mean, I have other, I mean, just you have to have desire and be disciplined and just, I think another thing that helps is like you have to be coachable and like if you just have to kind of just do what you're told and follow directions. But yeah, my work ethic, yeah, I think that's one of the things that really helped with my team at Virginia Tech. We all we're best friends. We just fight for each other. And as long as my teammates know that I'm going to fight for them and, go into every tackle for them and just, I'll bleed for them, I think if I just hold that mentality into professional soccer and with the Azkals, like I'm going to just fight for them and because they will be my brothers. And I think with that sense of like family that we can really conquer and a lot of things in the future. And yeah, I think that's one of the main things, just family and just fighting for one another. Yeah.
Mm. And I know that this is kind of out of the blue out here, but if let's say that there will come a time in your career that you're gonna be torn between the decision if you're gonna play for right now you're with Houston Dynamo, you're gonna play for Houston Dynamo, and then suddenly you get a call from Scott Cooper saying that hey, we have a tournament coming up. It's the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. This is probably the last game, and if we win this game or if we have a good result in this game, we go through the next stage of the qualifiers. Would you sacrifice what you have right now with Houston Dynamo to represent the Philippines, or how would you tackle that situation?
I think with Houston Dynamo, usually MLS clubs or usually any club, they really like it when they know they have a player that is on a national team. And I think they would totally support me and my decision to just represent my country. So I'm not really worried too much about like me having to leave because I think that's what they would want for me. And yeah, that's pretty much my stance on it. So yeah, pretty excited for that. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem in the future. So yeah, I would totally love to just, leave Houston and not leave Houston, but like just if I do have to for like a qualifying game or something, like, yeah, I'd be so down to do that. And I think they would support me in that.
Yeah, that's really something that we look forward to because right now that has been the problem that we do have with some of the players that we have playing in other leagues, and sad to say, uh, sometimes, or if not most of the times, those players are the vital players that we do have. Knowing that in the future we're gonna be having, a very versatile striker right here, a very versatile scorer of the game. That's one thing that we look forward to. That we can just bring you in anytime we need, and your club really helps us out for that. So yeah, I'm just really excited to see the prospect of you playing for the national team. And probably just before we wrap things up for the show, I believe Dave has here some announcement for us for our show. Yeah, but yeah, sorry, Dave.
Yeah,
I'm kind
man.
of
Yeah,
lost for
yeah,
words.
sure, sure. Before I announce it, like, Crystal, if you're gonna play in a national team game in the RMS in front of the Filipino crowd, you're gonna go wild. That's the only thing I can say to you, man. So playing in Manila like that, and we would like to thank, at some point we had 7 viewers. But
Wow,
speaking of
nice
seven,
segue.
speaking of seven,
Nice.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have the announcement to say from yours truly, ESPF, Eat, Sleep, Breathe Football. We are going to collab. Finally, we're gonna collab with the Sevens League. So ESBF X Sevens League. We are going. Yes, there you go. Like it's seven
Yes,
X
sir.
seven. The Sevens League to give you quality content, not just only the sevens, but anything football. It could either be Filipino football or international football. I'm really excited for this collaboration. I'm actually happy that we finally announced it, because we've been holding this for, for 2 weeks or and all, but finally, boom, it's out in the blue. ESBFX Sevens League. Finally, the collab is here. Get that straight. That's facts. You heard it exclusive here, obviously on the Easily Brief Football Show, and and yeah, finally we get to do this collab with Anton and the rest of the crew. Again, thank you, for choosing us, and hopefully you Paman Kickers can get the quality content that us and the Sevens League are here to offer you. So make sure you check that out. But like before I go back to DJ, just a tiny question, to Crystal. Crystal, what's your favorite football? Who's your favorite football team?
I don't have one.
Oh, okay. That's a first.
What?
That's a first. That's exclusive here on
Yeah,
ESBF.
you,
I
my
kind of
dude,
just
you know
watch.
how to get one.
I do like always rooting for the underdog though. So, but I kind of just
Okay.
players. I mean, my favorite players right now are one of my favorite teams to watch is Tottenham. I just love Harry Kane and Son Heung-min. Their combination, and they have like the most combinations I think right now in the Premier League, and they're just so awesome to watch because they'll just like in like 2 seconds they'll just the ball will be in the back of the net. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
do like
basically that's Mourinho play right there. Park the bus and then counter
yeah,
attack. Yeah,
has
that's
the best players for that I think. So
yeah, that's Mourinho for you. Glenn Casas, who knows
He
a thing or
misses that.
two about knows a thing or two
No,
about
actually,
Mourinho.
no.
I guess
Actually,
like
Mourinho has evolved from beautiful attacking football to parking the bus. But I haven't seen him
So
do that in Tottenham, though.
it kind of did.
He kind of did. He
But he
kind of.
kind of, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
Mourinho.
I mean, yeah, it's Mourinho. But anyways, before we wrap up the show, Crystal, man, any shout outs, plugs that you wanna say? Anything, man? The floor is yours.
just shout out to my family, I guess the Monteros. Shout out to them. I also have some.
And if you guys want to know what he does, follow his Instagram, Cristo, but the I and S is 1 and 5. So make sure you follow his Instagram and everything. Okay, sorry to the J. I kind of stole the spot from
No,
you.
that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I mean, we're about to close the show, so at least you're leading us into that. And yeah, before I finish off, or before I provide the floor as well to my dear colleague Glenn, I would just like to thank you, Crystal, for joining us in this show. I mean, it's been a real pleasure. I mean, we've kind of learned a lot actually in this interview that we had with you, especially in terms of what needs to be done in terms of the improvement here in the Philippines. Kind of applies whatever is working out there for the U.S. So hopefully, some of the lads that we know of in the Philippine Football Federation watches this, or from the Philippines Football League. So yeah, and speaking of which, just want to give some quick shout outs to our dear friends out there in Philippines Football League. I think they're gonna open their season up in April, so let's just wait for it. Also, thank you all to those who watched our show. I'm not gonna go into the details for that for now, but Glenn, go ahead. You have any shout outs though?
Oh yeah, before the shout outs, I would like to also give my deepest thanks to Christoph as well, because the time difference, the spending sparing some time to talk to us is a really big thing for us, and it really has been a pleasure being having you join us close our season today. So thank you for being here, and I'd also like to give a shout out to the one and only my commandant, who's sitting right next to me.
The boss.
The boss, the boss woman,
Belated
aka
happy
your wife.
anniversary, by the way.
Belated happy anniversary.
Thanks, bruh. Had fun. Had a lot of fun with that buffet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
your
yeah,
Paris
yeah,
likes to
yeah.
eat.
Yeah, because you're fat ass like dude, that's for sure,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you so much, brother Glenn. Now, Dave, your shout outs, and of course, I'm pretty sure you have some plugs out there.
Of course. First of all, I want to shout out our floor manager, Luke Transporto, for really helping us at the
Yeah.
back with the questions
Come
and
on, Luke.
everything. So shout
Turn
out.
on that camera. Show your
Turn on that
face to
camera.
us.
Show your face. Duke
Say
hi,
hi.
is a
Glenn.
floor manager. I would like to give obviously a shout out to our pamangkikers for giving support. For showing us support. We do this for Philippine football. We want the game of football to grow in the country, and we hope that we can do that as soon as possible. And yeah, my plugs, obviously, if you guys want to tune in into international football and how do you say this, and
Formula One.
Formula One, make sure you catch my show, which is the, how do you say this, we get it, it's
Was
two
that
two zero for Chelsea. You don't need to say
We
it.
get it. We get it,
We
Glenn,
get
but
it, you don't need to say.
that's not a good scoreline for you, bro. It's
That's
just
the
barely.
storyline. So go watch the What's Up Football and Formula One show. That's my show. I also do a weekly show that's called the Basketball Zen. We talk about the NBA, what's happening and everything, and we also do interesting quizzes. So next week I'm gonna try to gain again my title that I lost for the TBZ World Heavyweight Championship. So make sure you watch that, and yeah, and then obviously shout outs to Nate Bardera, Kyla, Janine, Arian Mendana, sino pa, Sheila Fang. Those are very young promising players in the provincial side of football. We're gonna help you guys, and shout out to ATW, of course, against the world, man. Yo,
Yes,
our
man.
merch is gonna be bomb, like
Mhm.
bomb. So make sure you catch our merch out, and guys, you go crazy for it. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
have to say.
I can't wipe
And
my
yeah,
face. I can't wipe the smile on my face when you said about our merch, because it's really coming soon. Our Pamangkiker. So just wait for that, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna cop one as well. So yeah.
yeah,
Um.
yeah.
By the way, we now have our floor manager out here, Luke. Thank you so
Hi.
much as usual for making this a seamless show for today for our season ender. Any shout outs that you have that you want to have as well?
First of all, I really like to thank Christoph here for coming on the show, and I wish you all the best in your career and more goals to come. Hopefully, by the next season of ESBF, our three hosts here would be passing the ball better instead of a torch. Okay, so just shout out to my family, my parents, my brother for being very supportive in my involvement here in ESBF, and thank you so much for tuning in to for our viewers. So that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I made a personal Facebook page. It's called Coach Look.
Yes, sir.
As a registered social worker and a football coach, I talk about physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. So if you want a safe space to discuss about that, just go ahead and and let's have a healthy discussion in the comments. So that's pretty much it. Take it away, Tito J.
Thank you so much, Luke. And as for me, for the shout outs that I have, thank you so much again, Nate Berkey, for watching the show. I mean, I want to wish I could have the chance to work with you. I mean, supposedly we would be working with each other in the PFL last season, but, the last game didn't play out. But, hopefully in the upcoming season, we work together in the commentary panel. Also, shout outs to our dear friends in the Philippines Football League and the Philippine Football Federation. To Andrew Foster, who watched us as well. Tita Saiza Cabanlong, a member of the Eat Sleep Breathe Football Gang. Thank you so much for watching. Joshua Carlos, yes, it's kind of late, but at least you made it. Just wait for the replay of the show on Facebook and YouTube as well. Of course, ATW. Let's just wait for that merch to come. It's really exciting. What else? What else do I have here? I mean, I'm just kind of in cloud nine right now, knowing that we just finished the show with Kristo Strickler.
Season ender.
Yeah, the season ender. I mean, finally we can take a break. And our Pamangkikers, our page will not take a break. It's just that our show will take a break for now, but we'll definitely be back before you know it. So
Road to 5K likes.
Yeah, let's go to that 5K likes. So, in behalf of everyone in the Eat, Sleep, Breathe Football Gang, we want to say thank you for watching our show. And this is Tito J and the rest of the SBF Gang and Kristo Strickler. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Eat, Sleep, Breathe Football.
This is why we use Sleep and Breathe Football.